Apparently, over 30% of middle-aged men aren't getting laid, which has led to an uprising of incels and basement dwellers ordering pizza while fapping their days away on mommy and daddy's dime. In this video, we're going to discuss how the average middle-aged loser can't quite get to the knight in shining arm status that the average lady online is looking for. If a person can relate to anything discussed in this video or simply has been enjoying my daily commentaries over here on the page, then don't forget to like, comment your thoughts, opinions down below, and subscribe to see my daily videos right here on the channel. And a huge shout out to the handful of you guys checking out those links down below in the description. Those are always some of the best ways to support me and the content right here. Now, let's begin this shit show.
In the United States, there is no cohort that has fallen further faster than young men. 4 times more likely to kill themselves, 3 times more likely to be addicted, 12 times more likely to be incarcerated. And because of the advantage that I received as a white heterosexual male and my father received, we have a lack of empathy for them. 1 out of 3 men under the age of 30 hasn't had sex in the last year. And we have the deepest resourced, most talented people in the world trying to give young men a false impression that they can have a reasonable facsimile of life on a screen and with an algorithm. They're not going out. They're not getting a plan. They don't have the confidence to approach strangers for mentorship, for friendship. They're not getting jobs. And I hear from mothers and I hear from women. You know who wants more economically and emotionally viable men? Women.
Yeah.
Women.
Yeah.
And unless we have more empathy, empathy is not a zero-sum game. Civil rights did not hurt white people. Gay marriage did not hurt heteronormative marriage. We have to look at the statistics and understand that our young men are failing. They are struggling. 4 times the suicide rate. 4 times. There are things we can do. This is a call out to all men. The single point of failure when a young boy comes off the tracks is when he loses a male role model. The ultimate expression of masculinity is for a man who is doing well. You don't have to be a baller just trying to live a virtuous life. Is to reach out and get involved in the life of a boy. If we want better men, we need to be better men.
Now, despite what a lot of promiscuous ladies might believe, or what all the Disney Channel shows like to make it out to be all the bad boys are getting all the ladies, now there are a hand-select few of Chads taming all the strange, but the majority of the people ruling the sex pool are the females. It's this feminine energy. It is feminism has changed the dating market completely, as well as these dating apps, these online measures to find mates and, you know, get your own release and kind of get your rocks off, if you want to understand these metaphors, if you're old enough to do so. But it's kind of a crazy reality that we're living in right now, where the dating market has completely been skewed, where there really is a small percentage of people getting all of the matches, and the majority of people feel like there's nobody out there, when there's actually, the population has only been growing, so there's more people out there than ever, yet it feels like more people than not are single, and they're by themselves. Or at least the issue of being single by yourself is ever so growing. Now, maybe it's because we can compare ourselves to people overseas and a couple states away, and we have the entire country. You can literally set your radius for as far as you want on these dating apps, so the odds are endless. Literally, the odds are endless. So, do you feel like this is kind of skewing the perspective of the modern day dating market, or do you just personally feel like the modern day man and modern day woman are just not very desirable, being that it's not really the main priority is dating, which we're also going to cover that in a little bit farther along here in the video, that dating is not the top priority for the average male, not even really the average woman. So let's continue.
Standards are just too high. I'm a 30-year-old single black female prioritizing gut health and protein intake. I can squat 250. I've written 2 books and speak 3 different languages. In the last 6 months alone, I've created 4 different applications and 2 different programs across the iOS platform. Not to mention, I started diversifying my financial.
With all due respect, do y'all want to get married because you have a degree or because he understands that you're loving? With all due respect, do y'all want to get married because he understands how caring you are, or because you're fluent in 4 different languages? With all due respect, do you want that man to marry you because he understands how incredible of a person you are without him? Or do you want him to marry you because you make a lot of money? I'm just asking at this point, because a lot of you are coming to the table with your accomplishments, and I'm not trying to dim the light on the hard work you guys have done. Not trying to do that at all. But the same way you hate when that finance bro can only talk about himself and his accomplishments, and he thinks he's top stuff because he used to do this stuff or he does these things in life, you as a woman understand that that don't mean nothing. You could be a terrible man. I don't care if you did run a Fortune 500 company. You could be a terrible boyfriend. You could be a terrible husband. So why do y'all come to the table with the exact same thing y'all used to critique? I forgot, it's not the same.
Now, the average woman just seems to be so unattainable nowadays, and I'm not just saying that from like a bitter place here. I'm trying to say that because it seems like the needs and the standards are oh so high, and a lot of men have the same type of regard, but a lot of men just kind of want more of the ever so traditional values that have been stated in the book for a long time. Well, the modern day perspective of society is swayed in a bit where I'm not saying that, I'm not saying like, oh, you have to be all stay-at-home moms, we have to be, only the man can work. I'm okay with a split 50-50 perspective, but still it doesn't really feel like it's really getting, swayed in the right way, where it still feels like girls can be as promiscuous as they want on their Instagrams. They can be married and still post half naked pictures. Well, if the guy even like looks at the waitress wrong, I mean, the stepmom's gonna try to convince you he might already be cheating. You better go look through his phone tonight when he's sleeping. So maybe I'm not trying to come from like some projecting place here because I really don't have much experience with what I'm talking about. But I have had girlfriends, I have lived with women, and I have had past experiences with that myself. I've been single for the past few years. I plan to continue being single. I have tried to chum with other girls and chat and talk to other women because I'm a straight male here in America. I'm 25, but I'm not really in the dating market because, like I was just talking about, it's not really the top priority. The average man can't really afford to even take care of themselves, and if they can, they don't want really some woman to fuck it up, or even anybody to fuck it up. That's why a lot of people even cut out their friends, their family to make it in this day and age, which is unfortunately, I'm not saying I suggest that matter, but that's what a lot of people end up doing. So the people who do end up having it set, they're very picky about who they have in their lives, which the majority of the dating market is just not really for them. So what do you feel like? Do you find yourself dying alone, or do you think you're going to be with the person you're with for the rest of your life?
Why would a guy drive himself to the local club, the bar, whatever, and, spend money on a woman who may or may not even want to get with him or give him the time of the day, get rejected, when you can just get home and have, a perfect automatic girlfriend?
That's actually a very good point. They don't want to court anymore. They don't want to hunt. The hunt has gotten taken out of it.
But literally, Lauren, the food is feminizing the men to such an extreme that, yes, the soy boy. Have you ever heard that term when people are like the soy boys?
Have you not?
It's real.
You have to hear what I said to Patty Stanger. I said the reason that men aren't chasing women is the soy milk. And
literally,
people got mad at me, and I'm like, if you're having soy all day long.
Yeah, but guys, there's also a factor that you're not. Yes, all of that, I agree with all of it. But there's also a factor you're not thinking about, which is when I was dating when I was younger, before Lauren, I had to go out in public, and I would. And this guy knows we would have to go out in public, and you'd be lucky if one girl took it. Two girls took interest. It was like, oh, it's unbelievable. But it was like if one took, then you'd have to spend time courting this one person because it was like that's really, you don't have that many options.
Yeah.
Now you have this thing. And you can go like this all day long and swipe and get 30 something yeses, right? And then it's like, okay, if I'm just playing a game of odds, do I want to wait 6 months for this one, or do I want to just wait a week or a day for this one?
You guys are lazy.
No, but it's women and
you're
men.
drinking too much soy.
It's women and men. They feel they have endless options, and so they don't put in the time to really develop a real.
Now, I've covered different videos in the past of other men discussing how dating has just become way too expensive. It's been overpriced in their budget, and how going on dates, and how it's kind of like I use this term multiple times. Some of you guys find it funny in the comments. Some of you guys think it's weird, but it's going on dates is like a parlay. Okay, you have to continue to hopefully get enough dates until you can secure a relationship, and that's when you win the bet. And even that is never still secure, because we always see people going and trying to ruin other people's reputations, and they end up trying to just take a lot of what they never really were, given with in the first place. But it's just a weird reality right now in the modern day where it's like, finances are such a big role in everybody's lives, where it's literally affecting every category of life, where you can't even, have a life at the end of the day if you don't have your finances straight. And a lot of people don't find themselves ever being able to get to that point. Now, a lot of you guys can say work harder, just get a better job, but how many jobs, how hard do you have to work, how much you have to sacrifice, when really nothing is promised at the end of the day. So with that sentiment in mind, what do you guys feel like? What do you guys think? Feel free to let me know down below in the comments. Now, they always say there's unlimited fish in the sea. There's always more fish in the sea, but how many fish out of the pool have already been reeled in, threw out, reeled in, threw out, reeled in, and when you're going to reel it up, how many other fishermen have taken their pictures and kissed those fish and already have those on their Facebook pictures? It's an interesting perspective. Now, put that into perspective what we're talking about here throughout this video. What a wild world we're living in. But anyway, I'd love to know your guys' thoughts, opinions regarding anything discussed in this video, as well as what you, are personally experiencing in terms of your dating experience, your love life, and anything regarding that. as well as if you guys have been enjoying my daily dreaming commentaries, feel free to let me know down below in the comments. I want to give a huge shout out to all you guys who continue to support my videos daily and check out the channel every day, as well as a huge shout out to the handful of you guys checking out those links down below in the description. Those are always some of the best ways to support me and the content around here. I hope you guys have been enjoying, and it's kind of for me in this one, so I'll see you later.